When's the last time you listened to the radio? And no, I don't mean the time between when you start your car to when your phone connects to Bluetooth. I mean, when's the last time you really turned on the radio and listened to it? It's been a while, hasn't it? Hi, I'm Zach Gurchiek. I am a senior here at Indiana State University, and I'm also the station manager, until Saturday of finals week of WZIS-FM. A huge problem we, and any radio station for that matter, face right now is a sort of self-fulfilling prophecy. People already think that radio is dead, which leads to fewer listeners, and it's not just listeners who believe this. There are station members who used to believe this before joining WZIS.
I think it's being taken over by, TV and streaming and podcasts.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I remember being at Vincennes doing radio, thinking, I like doing it, but I was like, this is not what I want to do.
I thought radio was dead walking into this place for sure. But yeah, I mean, before I came to the radio station on campus, I thought, I don't think I had listened to a radio station for years up until that point, because I've been on Spotify my whole life.
I definitely thought that it was on its last legs, especially with Spotify and Apple Music.
So what's there to do? Is there even anything we can do? Well, I think the best thing we and the rest of the world can do is keep supporting radio and spread awareness about radio in the world of streaming. Most importantly, don't let the idea of a seemingly streaming-dominated world intimidate you. Several of our own members can tell you with confidence that radio isn't going anywhere.
Do you think radio is dead?
That's a good question. No, it's not dead. I think it's being less accessible because, while you still have it in your car and you still have it on your phone and everything like that, I think that more people are immediately going to their Bluetooth when they get in their car. They have CarPlay, Android Auto, all that kind of stuff that really helps Bluetooth and everything, but hinders radio. However, I do think that when it comes to actual media of radio, that it's not.
Absolutely not. There's so many avenues with radio. Satellite radio has exploded since its inception. My parents pay for Sirius XM, and that's all they listen to. They don't have Spotify or anything. So there's still demographics that are primarily listening to radio, but there's also other avenues like podcast recording, and audio design is also a big thing, but radio itself is a big thing, especially during natural disasters, especially around this area when we get a lot of severe weather. Radio is the most reliable source of news, so I don't think it's dead.
I don't think radio is dying, nor will it ever actually die. I think it's just needing to adapt. I think people, I've been telling kids this all day, coincidentally, but radio people are the most trusted news people in the country. So I think that they're still heavily needed, and people need their live breaking news as it comes in. I think we just have to reformat how it's done. I don't think it's necessarily on a frequency. I think we just need to expand outside to the internet.
I don't think that radio is dead, but it's definitely not what it used to be. And I think that can be attributed to, the rise of streaming platforms and convenience. Not a lot of people really want to kind of listen on the radio when they can just listen to whatever they want, whenever they want. But it's definitely not dead. You still have tons of people listening to the radio, and they're still putting it in the cars, so there's definitely a market for it.
Who better to tell you that radio is doing just fine than people who are working or even volunteering within broadcasting? Don't just take their word for it. Look around, and you'll see plenty of people talking about how radio is still alive and well. So that begs the question, what is the biggest problem that radio faces today? Well, it depends on who you ask.
I think just people's attention span. You look at shows that used to be, these 3-hour talk shows, and people just listen to them. But even podcasts, people listen to them. But a majority of the time, it's that the podcast, it could be an hour, 2-hour podcast, but people are only taking these 60-second clips and listening to them. So I think attention span has really hurt radio because, when I've talked to people that our professional DJs, they're like, you ask them about doing, how long should content be? And they're like, short form, get to it, get up back to the music. So I think that really hurts just attention span in general. And that doesn't even go for radio. That goes for everything media related.
I think it's the corporate atmosphere. I mean, nothing's gonna get away from it. One thing's like I've been learning about older community run stations where it was like everyone would build their playlist and DJ whatever they wanted, which obviously that can't work ever. That's a structure that just, facilitates something else. But I think its biggest issue is the reach. I think because if we're not on Sirius XM, we don't have that big of a reach. It's only this area, which, I mean, isn't necessarily the worst thing. Because at least you still have it's like a local news network, There's only so far you can go. It makes sense. So I don't really know how that could be overcome, but it's like other than that, I don't really think there's like huge issues. It's an industry that's been around for hundreds of years and has only evolved. So it's gotten to a place where I think it's steady.
I think because people think that radio is dying, nobody's willing to give us money. I think sponsorships are a huge part of what makes radio possible. The only way that a radio station makes money is through advertising. And if nobody wants to advertise through radio, then there's no way that a radio station can survive. So it's just trying to get us to tell advertisers exactly that we need. We're not dying, we're just adapting, and we need them to help us adapt.
The biggest problem I feel like radio's facing today has to be its competition with streaming and people's attention spans, because I feel like that convenience of streaming platforms kind of promotes, not having to pay a whole lot of attention to what you're listening to, or really listening. You just do whatever you want. People make their playlist and put it on. Don't even worry about what's next, and they'll have curated playlists for you and stuff like that. So yeah, I think like the biggest problem is keeping up with streaming platforms and their convenience. Although I don't think that they're behind per se. I think it's just a very different kind of ballpark that they're gonna have to, compete with.
Whatever challenges radio may face, we are sure that the business will persevere. It's a medium that has existed for years and years. Whatever challenges may arise, radio will surely find a way to persist. Because it always has. End scene.